have some very, very important reader questions today, too.
Oh, God.
Not reader, listener questions.
Okay.
Are you going?
Yeah.
All right, then I will tell you the first one because I think it's a great way to open any show. You ready?
Okay. Yes.
Adam,
No. Am I?
You may be.
What?
What is your favorite
Purple.
kind of cheese?
Purple cheese.
This comes from Hans.
From Hans?
Hans.
Who's Hans?
Hans is a buddy of mine.
Oh, okay.
Hans.
Are you paying these people to listen, Cliff? Is that what you're doing?
You do what you do.
Maybe they're friends because they like listening to us, so it just happens that they enjoy our
Right.
content.
Sure.
Hans has a...
It's like a Venn diagram.
I don't know.
Adam.
I don't know how big
Matt.
it is, but he's a serious gamer. The dude has like an entire basement full of arcade games that he buys and refurbs himself. Like he's got an arcade. It's amazing. You just like
That's really cool.
he just bought a skee ball machine for his basement. It's incredible.
I would like to play skee ball.
Yeah, right. He lives in Indiana, unfortunately. So
I mean, it's in the same country.
right, yeah.
So it's
if
all right.
we ever find ourselves in the Midwest, we'll visit Hans
Right.
and his arcade.
So what's my favorite kind of what's our
Cheese.
Our favorite kind of cheese?
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, my favorite is peppermint Bellaventano. Let's see, Bellaventano.
How can it be your favorite if you can barely pronounce
Because
it?
like you're making
it's
that
stupid in Italian, and
It's
but
a
it's
peppermint cheese?
but just a little bit. It's like kind of a hard kind of like Asiago-ish.
cheese?
Yeah, it's real good.
I don't know if I'm down.
It's really good. You can't buy it here, unfortunately. It's really hard to come by.
Good.
But
I wonder why.
the brand of cheese is really good too.
Okay.
So anyway,
That's good.
yeah.
I'm a basic kind of cheese guy. Like I like
Yeah, something you have
cheddars
to
and Swiss.
unwrap.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I like cheese. You can't really
All
go wrong.
cheese.
All cheese.
All cheese.
Except my favorite is what is it? Gruyere.
Ooh, good
Yeah, I love
choice.
Gruyere
Good
cheese.
choice.
Yeah, it's
Dylan,
so
favorite
good.
cheese?
Munster.
Excellent. Is it just because it's called Munster?
Probably.
Is that the
Probably.
really stinky stuff?
No.
No,
it's
it's real good. It makes a real good grilled cheese.
Yeah.
But what's the stinky stuff I'm thinking of?
There's a lot of them.
but
That's most cheese, Adam.
yeah, but there's one in
I don't
particular.
know.
It's not Munster, but it's along those same lines. I can't.
I've had some
remember
real
what it is.
bad cheese, so I don't even know where to start.
Anyway, welcome to
I like
Cheese Capsule.
my favorite cheese is the cheese you forgot you bought, and it's in the drawer in the back of your
Ooh, and it's
fridge, and
furry
you pull it out, and you're
cheese.
like, "Oh, it's furry." Yeah, exactly, furry cheese.
And the question is with cheese is that cheese bad or is it good? Because I've bought some cheese before that I'm like, this is awful moldy looking, but
I guess it
apparently that's
depends
what it's
who-
supposed to look like.
I guess it
So-
depends who eats it.
Right? Yeah,
Depends
yeah.
on.
I think the mold. I don't think you're supposed to eat the cheese. The cheese
grow
with the
your own
mold on it
mold?
that you grew yourself.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
don't do that.
Maybe that's the rule.
Yeah, that's good. If it's green and fuzzy, probably not. But if
Okay.
it's blue and
Perfect.
marbled, then
Why is
that's
blue the blue is a safe color?
Ooh, a good blue cheese too.
But no,
Anyway.
no.
Yeah.
Now we're going
Thanks
to talk
for
about
that
video
oh-
games.
That so relevant and important cheese question on the Bite Me podcast.
I like it.
Yeah.
So today, besides
The Bite
cheese,
Cheese podcast.
we are going to talk about a bunch of Nintendo stuff because maybe you were unaware, but while we were on our little hiatus, Nintendo launched a new console. It
I
looks
heard
real
about
good.
it.
Yeah.
I didn't have much time to check it out.
So
though.
we'll talk about Nintendo. We are going to talk about GeForce Now, which came out at CES. Talk about some cheap and free games, and then we're going to talk about what we played. So
Cool.
You've been gone. Have you played
Yeah.
anything?
Well, let me. You guys know why I was gone, but I was just remembering this. So the reason I was gone was my grandmother passed away, and it was kind of a somewhat expected thing, so it wasn't that much of a shock. But to my grandma's credit, I have to give her credit for being basically the one who got me into video games.
Oh, nice.
Because in 1980 or 79, roughly, I can't remember when it came out, but the Atari, the first home console, the Atari 2600. When that came out, she bought that for my dad.
Nice.
And my dad went, I don't understand. So, I mean, he kind of played, but I was the one who took that over. And I remember playing, like, all the video games, once they started
Yeah.
coming out further. And I was old enough to play and I remember loving Pole Position.
Yes.
That was my favorite. And every time we went to the hobby shop down the street, I wanted to buy Pole Position. So, but anyway, yeah. So my grandma's pretty much the reason why I play video games.
So now your grandma got you into gaming too, right, Dylan? And also bought you an Atari 2600?
No, but
Oh, no, so
sort of.
Nintendo.
She had a Super Nintendo,
Yeah.
so that's. I mean, I grew up with games in my house,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
we can call it that.
That's so
Yeah.
weird.
Just,
My grandpa had a Commodore 64 and played, I think, exactly one game on it. It was called Frantic Freddy. And it was most notable because it was just kind of a platformer-y or whatever, but it was most notable because the guy who made it stole a bunch of like regular rock songs and made them the background music for it. So I will always remember that episode or level like 5 or 6 was "Don't Bring Me Down" by ELO.
Don't bring me down.
Exactly. And so for years, like I didn't realize that was actually a real song. And then I'm like listening to some classic rock station one day. I'm like, da na 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 na. I'm like, oh my god,
It's level 5.
Yeah, it's level 5 for Frantic Freddy. So
nice.
Yeah, it was good.
Well,
it was really
that's
good.
fun.
Anyway, have you played anything?
So I did play on the flight home. I played Alto's Adventure.
Nice.
Just because
Such a good way to waste time.
So what I did though is I downloaded what's the guy who did the music for Journey and all that?
Oh, Austin Wintory.
Yeah.
He's my favorite.
So I downloaded the Abzu soundtrack, the Journey soundtrack, Banner Saga, and I had that on, and I turned the music off on Alto's Adventure, and it was pretty sweet playing that game to his music.
I love that stuff, man.
Hint for sequel, maybe collab.
Oh, right. There's that
we're calling it.
Those
now.
developers are coming out with some cool looking stuff too. They've got a bunch of projects in the works that all look real good. So
yeah, so I played that on the flight, and I cracked open my DS for the first time in a while, and I forgot that I had Castlevania Mirror of Fate. So I was playing that, and it's really fun.
Good, nice.
So I was able to pick up in the middle of some dungeon level that
you have no idea where you are, where you've come from,
but I managed to figure out where I was going.
Nice.
So we're good.
Very nice.
Either right or left.
Or up or down or in the water or push this thing and fight these people and stuff and whatever.
Very nice.
I did it.
Stuff and whatever.
Yeah, I got a big list, so maybe you can tell us what you've been playing, Dylan.
It's a very short list for him from what I saw.
Well, I will give you a little story of why it is a short list, because I spent my weekend plus stuck in Bend, Oregon, because there was an ice storm, blizzard. So I didn't have anything with me but my iPad and my iPhone. So I played Hearthstone a lot.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Which was great, because I enjoy that game, and I'm kind of getting back into it now. So, I was kind of trapped and made do.
Yeah, I've never played any of the collectible card games, and they all really intrigue me, but they all seem very kind of play to win. Like I don't want to spend money on a CCG. So
yeah.
Do you really need to buy stuff in Hearthstone, though? I mean, obviously, whenever a game offers you to buy something, it's going to make it easier.
Right. It depends on what you want to accomplish.
It probably really depends, too, if you're playing casual or if you're playing ranked, too.
If you want to play competitively, yes, you're going to have to invest money. And, I mean, it's just going to take you a lot of time to acquire enough gold to buy the new cards and craft the cards that you need. But then there's also, you can buy packs of cards, but there's also adventures, like single-player adventures, and they have 4 of those at around $20.
Oh,
so
that's
you'll
nice.
get so many dungeons to play through, and just from playing through those sets, you'll unlock 20 to 40 new cards.
Oh, wow.
That are actually, a lot of those cards are used competitively, so you'll be able to acquire a semi-competitive deck that you could probably play casual games and be competitive enough to not hate yourself.
Sure.
And you'll get gold from that. And if you do the daily challenges, you'll get a couple packs a day or, whatever.
So is Hearthstone, is that another competitive, is there a competitive level of that?
Yes,
kind of like Overwatch and stuff?
Yeah.
Really?
Yep, yeah, you can play competitive. I don't think they play it necessarily as an esport, because I don't think it really... I don't know. I can't imagine that watching someone play Hearthstone online would be.
Well, I mean, it's like watching somebody play the World Series of Poker.
I mean,
that's true.
People love playing watching Magic.
That's true. Yeah. So I guess maybe it is a legit esport.
I haven't looked into it as much yet, but I'm probably going to.
But I mean, you can definitely play ranked matches. You can play. I mean, every game you win or lose.
Because I saw Kevin playing it back when he still lived in Portland. I was in Seattle, and I'd go back and forth, or we'd go back and forth. And I remember going down there, and on his computer at home, he was playing this card game, which I like cards, and I like to think I like.
And you like games,
and I'm like, so why not?
It might be perfect for you.
Yeah, so I was intrigued, but at that point, it was only on either iPad or just iPad, not even iPhone or Android, and Windows. And I watched him play, and I was like, oh, that looks like fun. And then I downloaded it, played it for 10 minutes, and I'm like, I don't understand, and I've not touched it.
It's a lot of fun, and for me, it's my substitute to not have to buy physical Magic cards, but to play a similarly competitive game that's collectible, that you can build your own decks and build around those archetypes and whatever. So it's satisfying in that way.
Nice.
And
it kept you
it's a
busy.
little more simplistic than... It's not as deep as Magic.
Yeah, Magic can get deep.
Huge game.
I remember playing that when I was 13, 14, and I was able to get it then, just because that's when your brain's just sucking up all the knowledge. Yeah. And I went back and tried playing it with somebody maybe 6 months to a year ago.
Yeah. They add so much, and it's just so massive at this point. There's so many cards, so this is definitely a more accessible game, and it's great that I can play it on my laptop or my iPad or my iPhone, and it's all linked to my
That's cool.
In a hotel room in Bend, Oregon.
Account or whatever.
Let's know
with
that.
Blizzard. So
yeah, the one I've always wanted to try is Hex, which is a newer one, but it's apparently got a really good single player. Like, I don't know if I could ever really get into playing other people online. I'm just not that social, and I don't like people that much.
I don't like people.
Yeah, but Hex is supposed to have a really good single player that I've kind of been meaning to try. I had it on my laptop for a while and just never did it. But yeah, maybe someday.
What about your exhaustive list of stuff?
I
wait, was that all you've been playing?
Basically.
Yeah. Well, then last weekend you went camping.
Yeah,
so.
and then it was my birthday last weekend, so I spent
happy
it
birthday.
on the beach not playing video games.
That's smart.
That's good. Because that's the one thing when I go to the beach, or if I go somewhere that's outdoorsy or outsidesy or whatever, and I see somebody like they're sitting next to their tent in their camp chair next to a fire with whatever, and they're playing a game on their iPad.
What if they're playing Pokemon Go? Like, what if you're trying to catch forest creatures?
I mean, first of all, at most of the campgrounds that I've been to up here,
no internet.
You don't have service, so you're not playing Pokemon Go.
Yeah. That game made almost $1 billion last year.
What?
I think it was $985 million.
Well, I know that $65 or so of that came from me, and I know Kevin threw him another 70-ish.
I threw him $0,
Yeah,
and not even a download.
I played it for like 25 minutes. I was like, nope, not for me. So games I have played, it's long. Couple things I've played before. I played some more Astroneer. That game's getting better and better as it goes through early access. It's just little bug fixes that make it fun. I also played Amnesia, A Machine for Pigs, which is the sequel-ish to Amnesia, which is kind of an interesting idea. Did you ever play Amnesia Dark Descent? I think you bought Soma, which is the new game from that developer.
Yeah, no, I never played it.
A Machine for Pigs is interesting because they kind of took the name and then just gave it to another developer. It's the Chinese Room, it's the one that made Everyone's Gone to the Rapture and Dear Esther.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's like a very walking simulator version of Amnesia, and it's weird because I played it for a half hour. I was going to do my 30-minute review of it. I got 30 minutes in, and I'm like, I don't know if I like this game or not, which is usually means you don't. But I'm like, but I kind of want to play it more. So I've played it for maybe an hour and a half now, and I honestly still am not sure if I like it or not, but I kind of...
Is it because you don't know what's going on? Is it
because it's as good as it is bad?
Well, it's a walking sim, so there's not really a difficulty.
Yeah, there's not a lot of difficulty to it. I haven't met any bad guys yet, although they apparently exist. It's really just you walking through this giant Victorian steampunk house trying to figure out what you've done and where your kids are and who's kidnapped them and what horrible things
hearing about this game.
live in the depths. And it's fun, but it's kind of ugly because it uses a really ugly engine. And there's a lot of very copy and paste. I've got screenshots of this one painting that literally is in 8 rooms of this house. And on one hand you're like, well, you're going kind of crazy. Maybe I'm just seeing the same painting. But on the other hand, I'm like, I can't tell where anything is because I've walked past this same damn painting 9 times.
Maybe that's part of the
right. And so on one hand you're like, is it just lazy developing or is it part of the game? Yeah. But I don't know.
I like to look for the good in people, so I'm going to say it's part of the game.
It's intentional.
I don't think it is.
The verdict is...
Yeah.
But it's fun. I'll probably keep playing because I kind of want to see how it ends now.
It's like a TV show. When you watch the pilot, you're like, I didn't really like it. But the story that they're telling is engaging.
It's compelling.
You kind of want to see, the OA on Netflix. Did you see that?
I have not, but I've heard everyone say that.
I watched the first episode and I'm like, well, I got to see where this goes. It's one of those. Yeah. And then you get to the end and I'm like, well, that was the stupidest way of getting to that point I've ever seen.
Everyone I know who's seen that show that's exactly what they say. So I don't know. We'll see. Amnesia Machine for Pigs. We'll keep playing and see where it goes. But cool. As for now, it's okay. What was not okay is a game called A City Sleeps, which is a bullet hell shooter. I made a video of it and it's terrible. It controls terribly. It looks terrible, but it's by Harmonix, the folks that do.
Oh yeah,
yeah. You'd think they're like a top tier developer, and it's supposed to kind of have a rhythm thing to it, but really doesn't. And I guess I don't know. The music's very kind of EDM-y, which I didn't really like either. It just everything about that game was bad, and it was super short too.
Well, didn't Harmonix do Amplitude back in the early 2000s?
They may have,
and
yeah.
There was the button rhythm-y games.
But they do the Guitar Hero or Rock Band, one of them.
Yeah, they do all that stuff.
Yeah, so I mean, like I just expected more from it. It was bad. It was flat out bad. I would not recommend that to anyone. And then two other games that I've been playing. Both of these are ones that they were nice enough to give us review copies of. The first was Feist, which I was originally kind of drawn to because if you just look at a very small bit of it, you think like, oh, it's just another game like Inside or Limbo, and it's nothing like those games.
Is it the one with the little kid thing?
Like little squishy, furry gremlin dude?
Oh, yeah. Okay, I haven't gotten to that.
It's very green. Mm-hmm. And like I got into it thinking like this is just going to be Limbo again. I love Limbo, so it was great. And it's nothing like Limbo. It's very, very actiony. It's very, very violent. And so instead of going through Limbo where you get to a scene and kind of have to figure out how I get through this puzzle, this is I got to a scene and I have to figure out how to kill all these things without getting killed myself.
Oh.
With very limited weapons. Like you're this little furball thing and you're fighting like these giant monsters like right out of where the wild things are. And I mean, literally your weapons are like I pick up this log and I throw it at him and I throw it at him again, I throw it at him again and hope he doesn't grab me and throw me all the way across the screen. Like it's hard. It's short. It's maybe 3.5 hours long and it is rough. Like the end guys are tough.
Did you finish it?
I did finish it.
Okay.
The game is tough. It's really, really pretty. It's very worth it. It's cheap. I think it's $10. Really, really worth it for that price. Especially if you like that kind of, I don't know. Like I think I liked Limbo better because I felt smarter when I played it. Like I you know what I mean though? Like I mean in Inside too. Like you beat something, you go like, haha, I'm better than that puzzle. And this was like, I'm jumping. You know, like I made it through levels not because I was good or better, but because and it's got this kind of cool physics AI thing too, where anytime you play through the level, it's never going to be exactly the same. And so it was more like you play it enough times to figure out where everything's kind of going to be and just run real fast some of the time. So it didn't have that satisfaction of like a Limbo Inside, but it was a great game and real pretty. And I enjoyed it quite a bit. So that was good. And then the game I'm playing right now is called Rise and Shine. And I was so excited because I saw this one coming up and I want to buy it. I'm going to buy it. And I was going to buy it on Saturday. Because I had a gift card to the Xbox store and they sent us a review copy, and so I was like, "Sweet, I don't have to pay for it now."
Okay,
but I was
this is
going
the
to
one
anyway.
with the little dude.
Yeah, little guy. And so the setting of this game is
pretty.
you guys have seen Wreck-It Ralph.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
yeah. So this is like a video game, it's very meta. A video game set inside like Wreck-It Ralph world. I mean, not really, but that's the idea where you play this kid and you live in I wish I could remember the name of the city you live in, but I mean, it's like literally if they called it like Game Town and all video games live there too. And the entire city is filled. I mean, you pop up the opening screen. I'm like, oh, look, there's a Triforce in that building. And oh, hey, there's a Sonic the Hedgehog, like wind vane. And then I was on Twitter and someone was like, oh, and look at these other 10 things embedded in just this opening screen that are all video game references. And so, you know, they obviously don't ever say, hey, that's a Sonic the Hedgehog, you know, whatever. Like you start the game and there's a big fight at this mall and, you know, I don't remember his name. The legendary warrior comes in and gives you this gun that you use to fight the rest of the game with, and the legendary warrior is Link, or you know, and so you know, and that's kind of how the entire game plays. But you know, you'll be walking through this, you know, whatever building, and there'll be like some companion cubes in the background, or Gordon Freeman's. Crowbar. You know, there's just constant references through the entire game of video games.
I was just watching your gameplay with the big boss character thinger.
Oh yeah.
What's this control scheme like? What is where you're like directing where these bullets or missiles are going?
And so it's kind of a platformer, right? Okay. And so I started. I'm like, I'm going to play this on a gamepad because it's a platformer, and it is. I've never played a game that is less made to use a gamepad. Like it's terrible to control, which makes me think that the poor people that bought on the Xbox kind of got the shaft there. So I'm playing it on the PC. And that's just my mouse cursor. And so kind of the way the game works is you start out with just this gun. And so the reason it's called Rise and Shine is your character's name's Rise, and this legendary anthropomorphic gun he has a giant eyeball in the back of it.
His name's Shine.
And so
it's like Ratchet and Clank.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
And so but then you can upgrade the gun throughout the thing, and so you end up with like bullets you can remote control. It goes into this kind of like slow motion thing where you can control the bullets as it goes through, different tunnels and pathways and that. And then you have one that shoots electric shots, and then you have one that shoots explosive shots. And it's a cool mechanic when it works. And it's hard because like that boss you were looking at, that boss, you have to use literally every single one of those different kind of guns to kill him and run and jump around the, missiles that he's shooting at you and the laser gun he's shooting at you. And like that boss literally took me 20 minutes to beat. I probably died 15 times just because you'd get like, I knew how to beat him, but just lacked the actual skill to get past him. It's so much fun, and the story is so good. I can't recommend it enough, but the controls are bad. Like even mouse and keyboard. Like I don't want to play a platformer with a mouse and keyboard. It just doesn't feel right. And then like trying to, run away from, run and jump, so you're pressing, W and spacebar and then trying to switch your gun at the same time, and then, moving your mouse where you're holding down one key to aim and then another to shoot. Like I don't have enough fingers to play this game is really the long and short of it. It's way better on a controller because it just feels more natural, but the controls it just is really bad on a controller. So besides the controls, it's fun. People are kind of complaining that it's short. I'm like 10 levels in out of 14. I'm about 2 hours in. So I think it's going to be like a 3.5 hour game, which is all I want to play this game for.
Right.
It's like,
and what is that? What's it cost?
$15, I think.
Oh, so, yeah.
It's
well worth the price of admission.
Well worth the price. It's fun. Yeah, $5 an hour is great, and it's gorgeous. It looks very I don't know if it is hand drawn, but it looks hand drawn. It's great, and it's published by what's the nighttime thing on Cartoon Network called?
Adult Swim.
Adult Swim. Yeah, it's an Adult Swim game.
Oh, is it?
So yeah,
wow.
yeah. It's beautiful. Your little dude, like he dies over. That's one of the things that the gun gives him the power to do is resurrection, and so he dies over and over again in gloriously bloody, awful ways, and it's real fun. I've been having a good time. So I'll have a full review of that on the website probably tomorrow or the next day, depends on when I finish it.
Sweet.
So it's good.
Sweet. Well, fun.
Anyway,
that's what we've been playing.
Yeah.
It looks like Dylan's playing I've Got a Cold. Do you have a cold? Is that what it is?
Dylan's had a cold. I think we've all had a cold.
I don't know if it's a cold. I was in a cave in Bend, Oregon when I was snowed in, and I think I have a dust allergy, which counts cave dust.
Yeah.
And so I
came back sick.
Oh, no.
And I think it's just like a lingering allergy.
Because every time I looked over while Cliff was talking about the games he's playing, you were pulling back afraid of sneezing?
Yeah.
Or something?
Coughing.
I don't
Sniffles.
know. You look like you're gonna die.
I think with the weather change here, where it went from really cold to really rainy to really I think everyone's sick. So
never been this dry here ever.
Yeah.
Up until the rain started.
Yesterday and didn't start. Yeah.
Is it?
It's been super dry.
No, it's been super dry.
Yeah, like you can't walk anywhere without like statically shocking something. That's crazy.
Nice.
But
anyway, I was just curious. Yeah.
Dylan's sick, but he's okay. Yeah. Should we take our second reader question that doesn't involve cheese?
Oh, we've got 2 questions?
Oh, we've got 3 questions.
Can we involve cheese?
Sure.
Maybe.
What's our next question?
So our next one is going to be if you could create a sequel to any game or have a full HD remake like they're doing with Final Fantasy VII, what game would it be?
Like an episodic type of release like they're doing?
Just like a game that you loved in the past that would like to play again, and maybe the original is not like... For me, what is yours?
Okami.
See, and I've never played that. Super good.
It was beautiful on the PS2 when it came out.
Yeah.
I could not even wrap my brain around how beautiful that would be on current gen hardware.
Yeah. And it's probably not pretty on the PS2 anymore. So
I don't know.
maybe.
It's still. I mean, I think it's held up well.
PS1s are bad. PS2s are okay.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I've got my PS2 hooked up, and I played Amplitude for the first time in 15 years.
It was all right.
And it was great.
Yeah.
That was great.
So maybe that would work.
Yeah, I think it would.
Yeah, I think for me, I'm going to either have to go Final Fantasy VI, just because I love that game so much, and they've kind of replayed with it a little bit. Like I'm playing it on the iPad right now, but it's just not. I want them to take that game and not only make it look better, and that might just be better pixel sprites. You know, it doesn't have to be like a full 3D reboot, but it could be. But I want them to like just change up the way that plays too. I want them to modernize the gameplay so it's not as grindy, not as as things we were willing to put up with in the Super Nintendo JRPG era and not today.
Right.
Like I want to play that as a almost 40-year-old who doesn't have a lot of time. That's the JRPG I want to play now. Or there's an old NES game called Crystallis. It's one of my very, very, very favorite role-playing games. I played it a bunch as a kid. It was kind of under the radar, but it really, really fun. I probably beat that once and probably played it almost to the point of beating it a couple times. But it's an NES game, so it'd be fun to get a more modern take on that.
I remember seeing the cover.
Yeah, it was a game that like I ran across. I mean, this is weird, but I ran across it at Sam's Club. 25 years ago. And
Has Sam's Club been around that long? Holy crap.
Well, probably Sam's Club.
Probably.
Sam's Club or Price Savers. I don't know. It was one of those big box stores. And it was probably longer than that ago. I was probably 10 or 12, so probably almost 30 years ago. And bought it because it was on sale for $15 and it looked fun and loved it. Came out home to find that like Nintendo Power had rated it really highly like the month before. I have no idea why it was so cheap, but my brother and I both loved it. So that question actually comes from my brother, and I would guess that would be his choice too, because we both love that game. So, Dylan?
Manhunt.
Oh,
I didn't even think of that.
See, and that's smart.
Either sequel or
HD
update
thing,
the original to today's standards, not just a remaster. Because
And
you can download it on PS4.
Yeah. I honestly never played it, but I remember hearing about it, and everybody just lost their effing mind because of how disgustingly violent.
Yes.
Oh, that was a
and dark
Rockstar
it was.
game?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
It came out before Bully, I think.
Huh.
Yeah.
They made a sequel to it.
Yeah, there's Manhunt 2, which was fun. But I want to see this game with today's graphics.
Right.
It would just be terrifying. And, I mean, that game is just stealth mechanics at its finest,
Right.
I thought. Like, it's just really solid. It mixes survival with stealth, without being a true, like, horror survival game, but it is. I mean, it is. It's just not, there's nothing supernatural about it.
Right.
It's just being a scary guy in a scary situation.
I never played it. Is it kind of like the Saw movies, like where you're kind of being held,
Yeah.
and you have to fight/kill your way out of these disgusting situations?
I guess that's fair. I believe your name is James Earl Cash, and you're death row inmate.
Yeah.
And you are taken off of death row by the director and put into his crazy compound that's filled with surveillance cameras, and these various gangs in their different attires are hunting you. And it's your job to survive by any means necessary.
That sounds really good.
Scurry.
And at some point, you find out that they've taken your family, I guess, and whatnot, so you can save them. But, I mean, you learn how to use the stealth mechanics by picking up a plastic bag and using that to take out your first kill.
I remember hearing
I never
that.
played it, but I've seen it, and man, it is, especially for that era game, it was
It's
intense.
pretty gnarly.
And I want to say, like, the country of Australia outright banned
I
that
wouldn't be
game
shocked at all.
when it came out.
Australia has really bad. I mean,
Really
up until very recently, it was very hard to get even M-rated games. They just changed the law, so
really?
it's a little bit easier now. But yeah, that wouldn't surprise me at all. That's a really good choice. I think that's a really good.
I hope
idea.
we see a Manhunt 3 someday. I would like that.
It's a tough game to make these days. Like, I think you can get away. It's kind of weird that you used to. In some ways, it's easier to get away with stuff now, and in some ways, it's a lot harder. Especially being Rockstar, like
being such a big studio.
That'd be real tough.
They've walked the line enough too. I don't know. I guess the other one would be in the same vein of ultra violent games that I think got. This was also, I think, AO rated at one point, was The Punisher.
Oh yeah,
the PS2
was it really?
Era. Yeah, because it's also incredibly violent.
They probably recut it, but I remember thinking that the first pass of that was AO, and then they had to because the AO games don't sell. I mean, you can't sell them at retail.
Yeah,
so.
I honestly don't think I don't remember an AO game.
Yeah, it's usually games get re-rated as AO, and then they have to bring them back. That happened with the hot coffee thing in Grand Theft Auto
San Andreas.
4, or is it San Andreas? Yeah, where they had they found essentially a bunch of porn in there, and they re-rated it as AO, and then they had to pull them all back and then redistribute them with that cut. So yeah, but AO it's just a death nail.
Sentence.
Yeah, not gonna happen. So,
but that game's great.
Nice.
I'm just waiting for the AO rated stuff for the VR.
Right? Yeah. There you go.
I'm kidding.
Yeah,
it'll happen.
That's a whole nother.
Oh, I know, and it's
thing.
Yeah.
Well,
that's a good question. That was a fun question.
I know, right? Yeah.
Because I never think about. I think about what games I want to play,
but not which games you wish you could play again.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I wish I could play Okami again. I could, but I never think about it being updated because there's so much flack given to some of these games that they're updating it because they were great games and they deserve to be upgraded. And we all. Well, we don't all, but a lot of people are like, oh, poo-poo on that, no original ideas.
Well,
but then you think about it, and like Okami, I would love to see Okami in HD.
I kind of go both ways, too. Like, I think there's...
is it a money grab, or is it like...
Well, and I think that part of it is a... there's like a statute of limitations for those games. Like, there needs to be at least probably a generation in between. Like, so if you're going to put something on the PS4, it better have come out on the PS2. If you're going to put out something on the Xbox One, it better be an original Xbox game or older.
Yeah.
Unless it's so recent that it should have just been on the next console.
Well, or even like
like GTA 5, for example, came out right at the end of
Skyrim,
the 360's
kind of the same
life,
or
the PS3's life.
Oh, yeah.
So.
That's why
we all own 2 copies of it on 2 systems.
I did the same thing with Diablo 3, where I bought it for the 360 and then bought it again for the Xbox One because you just wanted the better graphics.
But on top of that, GTA did something where they're like, let's introduce a first-person view into Grand Theft Auto, that was never a thing before.
Yeah, GTA
so they
Online
added a new
too.
feature or whatever.
How is that in first person?
I think it's kind of weird. It works better in third person, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just because I'm used to playing GTA in third person too. It's hard to say.
But I'm sure there's times where it comes in handy, right?
Yeah.
Where you just can't see something from
quite right. Camera angles and such. So I don't know. I mean, I think that there's something to be said for both, but that game just seems better in third person to me.
Oh yeah.
We're going to get a little bit of computer news out of the way, and then we're going to talk about Nintendo forever because I'm super excited about the Switch. So CES was, I think, 2 weeks ago. Big show down in Las Vegas where they debut a bunch of stuff that'll never happen.
And did you hear about what happened there? So Razer showed their 3-screen gaming thing, which was beautiful.
Yeah.
I could put that such good use in my studio here. Would love it. But somebody stole the 3-screen Razer prototypes.
Stole
both
2 of them.
Yeah.
It's
so did you see it?
I saw it.
So it's like that thick. It's like maybe an inch thick. It's not very thick for what it does.
Yeah.
3 big giant screens, like 17-inch screens.
17-inch screens, yeah.
Beautiful. And at the end of the day, they go back to their little storage area,
and it's gone.
Whoops, somebody stole it.
It's so cool. I don't know. Like, the concept's weird.
Oh, it's really weird.
Yeah. I think the funny thing is I look at that and I'm like, I don't want that for gaming, but I could totally use that for work.
I would never carry around 20 pounds of gaming.
Yeah.
I would just never do it because I'm not nearly hardcore enough.
So
I like
when
Nintendo.
would I game on 3 screens, though?
So you play Rocket League. You've got your car in the first screen, then you've got some... Yeah, a lot of people game on 3 screens. Like, it's weird, but it gives you a lot of peripheral vision.
Mm-hmm.
So
the dividing
would be weird.
I couldn't do it.
Yeah,
I can't do it.
But and a lot of like flight sim junkies do 3-screen gaming.
That might make sense.
Yeah,
so like if I was driving a mech with different screens that had different dials, but the image would have to be somehow separated.
Yeah,
like I don't want the idea of like the huge landscape.
It's more just so you can see, but I mean, when you think about it, then you can see more of what's going on the side of you, so people can't sneak attack you from the sides, that kind of thing. So I mean, I think there's a place for it. It's a very
cheating to me.
It's a very it's a very strange place for it. Yeah.
But anyway,
did you guys see the $9,000 gaming laptop that was at CES? I don't remember who makes it. MSI maybe.
It was MSI, or I want to say it might have been Asus.
Could have been. I don't know. It has
think it was
2 GTX 1080s in it.
Why?
Well, and that's like they said. The funny thing is that actually the 1080s in parallel on a lot of games these days are actually slower than just a single GTX 1080 because slide doesn't work very well in a lot of games nowadays. They just expect you to throw one really powerful card at it instead of multiple powerful cards at it. So it was $9,000. It had a 21-inch curved screen, but I mean the thing was, I don't know, 3.5, 4 inches thick. It was absolutely ridiculous.
That's
but
crazy.
they said they're making at least 3. The Razer one was just a prototype, you know,
Right,
like this
right.
might happen, but that one they're making at least 300 of them. So.
There's 300 people out there with a lot of money to burn.
Right, yeah. More money than sense. Because, I mean, I guess the thing, too, is it's one of those where you could probably spend half that and get, like, an amazing gaming laptop
Seriously.
that wouldn't be that weird. Or an amazing gaming laptop and a 27-inch curved monitor.
I've got the Razer Blade.
Yeah.
The Razer Blade. I got
It's
the
like,
new Razer Blade.
$1,500, $1,700.
Yeah,
It's
it
great.
was $2,000, and it's got everything that I need.
Yeah, it's got a 1070 in it. It's great. Yeah.
1070, 512 solid state hard drive,
Yeah.
and 16 gigs of RAM.
Yeah, it's good. It's
Yeah,
real good.
I love it.
I'm going to have a 1070 probably next week. I'm very excited about it. So
These are numbers that I don't know.
it's going to be real fast.
Okay.
That's what it is. It's a new graphics card. So
okay.
I got a 1060 for Christmas, and then I realized like for an extra $100 I could make that a 1070. So I just got to deal with the returns. And then
So you're one of those people who's like, I like my gift, it's just not good enough.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Well, you know, the funny thing is that, and it's my fault too, I put it on my own wish list, and I'm like, no one's going to buy me a $300 video card for Christmas, and then someone did, and I'm like, well, crap. So, yeah, it's real cool, but like I'm just future proofing. It's $100 that I can run things a little faster now and work better in the future.
Gotcha.
Anyway, another thing that came out of CES, and I'm kind of curious what you guys think about this. You've got a gaming laptop, so maybe isn't as relevant to you, but Dylan and I both have Macs as like our kind of primary work computers. And so GeForce Now is a subscription service where you take your own Steam games. So you bring your own games to them and say, install whatever, GTA 5 on this remote super powerful computer, and then you stream it live to any computer. That's what they say, any computer, but I would say any computer that's relatively new, and then you can play it online on a computer that can't run that hardware. Kind of like, I mean, it's like
Kind of like the PlayStation.
Yeah, PlayStation Now, except instead of playing old PS3 games, you're playing brand new cutting edge stuff at apparently very, very high frame rates. And so interesting idea, and it would be really cool to be able to go on vacation and take my little teeny MacBook Air and be able to still play games while I'm gone.
It just seems kind of expensive.
And that's the question so they're saying it's $25 for 20 hours if you're playing on a GTX 1060, so the one that I returned.
Right.
Or 10 hours for $25 on a GTX 1080, which is the one I won't be getting because it would be an extra $300 or $400. So, I mean, you're talking playing on a $700, $650 video card plus, the high-end gaming PC that is around that video card for either $25 for 20 hours or $25 for 10 hours. Is that something you would be interested in for your computer for when you're on vacation or for when you want to screw around and play a game and don't have access to your gaming PC? Like, I've got a gaming PC at home, but
but at that price, absolutely not.
Too expensive?
That's crazy expensive. Come on.
Is it? But I mean, so I guess the thing is
you're paying more you're paying over what, $1 an
$1.25 an hour.
Well, yeah, but it's still, I don't know.
I guess the thing is
so basically,
would I ever replace my gaming PC with that? No, because that's dumb.
Right.
But would I be willing to pay $25 a year or $50 a year to get 20 or 40 hours of game time? When I'm at my in-laws' house over Christmas and bored, or hey, I want to play a game for an hour at lunch and all I have is my MacBook Air.
I mean, I just think it's expensive because
It's super expensive.
Let's say you buy some game that's got it's 20 hours to complete this game.
Well, yeah, that's $25.
And what if you're on the road, for 2 weeks for work or you're traveling or whatever, and you've got your laptop with you, then you pay $50 for this game. You automatically tack on another $25 to play on the lower end card on top of what you already paid for the game.
Is that better than not being able to play that game for 2 weeks?
Or would it just be smarter to spend that money, take that money, and then buy a better little something to carry around?
I mean, maybe, but that's $1,500, $1,700. So I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm with you. I'm really devil's advocating it right now.
Right.
If it comes out, I actually signed up. You can actually go to their website right now and sign up for their like beta program that launches in March. I would be very interested to see how good it is and how crappy the Wi-Fi can be. Like, can I use this in a hotel? Because my guess is probably not. Am I going to have to be at home on my super fast Wi-Fi? Because then who cares?
Then it just defeats the
Right.
purpose.
Am I actually going to be able to use this when I want?
And it also brings around the kind of concept of, do I want to travel with a game controller? Like, because I play a lot of games on the keyboard, but more and more I'm playing with them on a controller. I think Adam actually has a game controller in his backpack right now.
In his game controller pocket?
In his game controller pocket. So everyone knows,
One never knows.
Adam is at work.
Yes. One never knows when one is going to want to whip out the controller and bust down some
Whip it out,
demons
Adam.
or whatever.
Whip it
Excuse me while I whip this out.
This thing out.
It's
Do you have
all
any
good.
idea what the movie is? Do you have any idea what the movie is?
Yeah.
Okay. God, I hope I'm right now that I'm second guessing myself.
Blazing Saddles?
There you go. Thank you, Blazing Saddles.
yeah.
Yeah.
Watch that in school.
You watched that in school?
Yeah. It was.
Film school.
Yeah.
I'm like, we put that on the other day. I'm like, I want to watch Blazing Saddles, and we sat down and started watching it. And I wasn't really thinking about it. My kid was in the room, and all of a sudden I'm like, what's this movie rated? Because this movie is far more adult than I remember it being.
Anyway.
It's twoo. Anyway, now we're going to talk about Nintendo. I'm super excited about Nintendo.
Are you sure? Because it's only like the 17th time you've mentioned
I know,
it.
right?
How excited you are.
I'm very intrigued. I think so. Nintendo Switch reveal on the 12th. I stayed up and watched the entire thing and tweeted it,
And then promptly pre-ordered it.
and then promptly pre-ordered. So I it ended at 9, and I'm like, so when are they going to release pre-orders? And the Walmart one came out. I'm like, I don't want to buy at Walmart. Walmart sucks. And then I kind of wanted to buy it at Amazon actually though, because it's the day that it arrives is actually the same day as Emerald City Comic Con. Where I'm going to be. And so I was kind of hoping to get it delivered to an Amazon locker, but Amazon released pre-orders at some time, but I don't have any idea when it was.
And then they're done.
And it was not that night. So I got mine from Best Buy.
Okay.
Pre-ordered that and pre-ordered the new Zelda game, which also looks spectacular. So, I mean, I guess the important things is it's $300.
Mm-hmm.
And it's only $300. There's no options. There's not one with more storage. There's not.
That's the one question I've got, because I looked back through the release stuff or whatever, and it's still only a 32 gig.
It's a 32 gig dealie that is expandable via SD card. Well, mini SD cards, I think.
Okay.
Is it mini or is it just?
I think it's mini. I think. Up to 2 terabytes, which as of
shit.
right now do not exist. So they're future
I'm pretty sure they
proofing.
just had a 1 terabyte.
Yeah.
With Samsung, I think
They were showing that off. I don't know if it
Probably
was
at
actually,
CES.
It was like a coming soon kind of thing.
Yeah. So and I mean, the reality is the price on those goes like $32 is super cheap. They're $16. 64 gigs is like not too bad. They're $25, $30, right. And then you get to like 128, and you're like, oh, these are getting real expensive.
Yeah, these are $50.
My assumption is I'll have like 2 or 3 64 gig cards that I just and I assume you can do that, but I'm not actually sure. My assumption is it would work kind of like an Android tab. Like I have a Kindle Fire where I can just swap my SD cards in and out. You mount them, unmount them, but maybe not. I don't know.
Or by the time you find out that you only ever have 3 games for it,
it is also a possibility.
The card you get.
But that's what they're saying. You know, Link is going to come out, and it is going between so. It's got 32 gigs of internal memory or whatever, but the OS takes up 8 of that. And then Link's going to take up another 8. So by the time you've installed those 2, you're halfway out of memory.
Yeah, see, and that's what I mean. That was my one gripe with the Wii U, is it's like, okay, you've got 8 gigs, which is pointless.
Yeah.
Or a 32 gig, which is kind of like the low end of where you want to kind of maybe possibly start out.
Yeah.
And if you downloaded the Xenogears Chronicles or whatever, Xenoblade Chronicles,
that was all 32 gigs.
It took up you had to pretty much remove everything from your system to install it on the Wii U, and even then you were running into issues
right at the edge.
So
yeah.
why would they? That's one thing.
Especially
I just don't
when
get.
that kind of stuff's so cheap. I mean,
Yeah.
Because my assumption is the storage inside of that is also flash storage, would be my guess.
Yeah.
So why not? I mean, then
went
again,
up at
maybe when
least.
you're trying to hit a $300 price point.
Yeah, they were really trying to hit that, and
And I think everyone was kind of bummed that it wasn't $250, but $250 was kind of probably a pipe dream. I was always thinking it was going to be probably $3, and I'm happy.
3DS came out, it was $250.
Yeah,
so
and I'm
it's
happy
like,
to pay $3 for it.
Right.
I mean, do I need a launch one? No. Do I want a launch one? Yes. And so, I'm very excited about it coming. They're saying the battery life on it is between like 2.5 and 6 hours. The assumption is for something like Zelda, it's going to be probably closer to the 2.5, which everyone's bitching about. But they charge via USB-C. And so...
Yeah, you get fast charge.
Yeah,
hopefully.
you get a charger, throw it on the wall, you're good to go. My assumption is you could charge that on an airplane if you had a USB-C adapter for it. So Adam's phone charges with one. So I don't see it as being a problem of finding a place to charge this thing. So I'm very excited. The resolution of the screen is when it's plugged in is going to be 1080. When you're just using the handheld version, it's 720, which is good
It's
enough.
perfectly fine for a handheld.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. The screen looks great.
And it's a capacitive multi-touch screen, correct?
It is.
Okay.
It is. So, to me, it was very interesting watching kind of the Twitter reaction to it coming out and then reading the reaction, to it later where, it's split almost 50-50, where there are a bunch of people that are like me that are like, yes, I went out and pre-ordered one the second it became available and are super excited about it. And then there's another half that is just like, oh, it was too expensive, or the games that are coming out. I mean, there's only 5 or 6 launch titles, so there's not a ton of launchy stuff. There's not enough games, enough whatever. I didn't like what I saw. It's not whatever, and are very, very disappointed. And then I think there's a whole nother realm of people that are just, stupid Nintendo, I don't care, I got an Xbox, whatever. To me, the launch titles that kind of excite me are Zelda. Obviously, it's the one I bought.
Oh, yeah.
that alone, I think, sells this.
Yeah, that alone
I've
is
seen
selling.
like the first 20 minutes of it, and it looks absolutely
And
stunning.
how big is this game?
It's, oh my God, yeah. So I tweeted about it the other day. They showed, and it was, go look at our Twitter account, twitter.com/bitemepodcast. And, they showed the last 2 Zelda games and these little teeny squares. And then they showed Skyrim, and Skyrim was maybe 8 times bigger than Zelda. And Breath of the Wild is 10 times bigger than Skyrim.
Huge.
It's outlandishly large.
Wait, Breath of the Wild is how big?
Bigger than Skyrim, like from a map standpoint.
Yeah, just size of the map. Obviously, this game's not probably going to be as
Like,
not as
not as
deep
much
as Skyrim,
content,
but
but-
just
I don't
for
know. I mean,
explorability.
That's the question. But I mean, it's stunning too. Like Zelda, I keep watching it.
Where
It looks
is
like
this?
a painting.
Where is it? Where is it?
It's on Twitter.
I know, I'm on the Twitter.
Scroll down. I post a lot.
I see that.
But
Oh, that's the guy who plays Mario's voice? Oh, that's not what I was
It's a me,
expecting.
Mario.
it's a him, Mario. But I mean, it's beautiful. It looks absolutely stunning. And I guess now is as good a time as any to actually answer our third question from Dylan's friend Mark. What's the difference? So this game, the thing about Breath of the Wild is a lot of people are saying that was the game I wanted to play, but it's also coming out on the Wii U. Why would I buy the Switch in order to play it? And so Mark's question was, what's the difference between the two? First off is resolution. Plugged in, the Breath of the Wild on the Switch is going to be at 900p, which is good. It's not full 1080.
But for something that gigantic,
Something that gigantic, it's 900p, 30 frames a second.
that'll look perfectly fine.
Perfectly fine, right? On the Wii U, it's going to be 720p, 30 frames a second. And kind of the question is, too, is, that's theoretically a fixed 30, but my guess is that it's going to be way easier to hit the fixed 30 on the Switch than it will be the Wii U. It apparently has significantly better sound design, interestingly enough, on the Switch.
Interesting.
So, but besides that, like it's the exact same game. So it's going to look better. It's going to sound better. If you already have a Wii U and you don't mind being tied to your TV, it's probably a great option.
And see, I don't, because I've got my 3DS if I really want to play games on the go, at least Nintendo games.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've brought my 3DS with me for my Christmas trip. I had it with me when we went to BC. I took it with me last week in Florida
and cracked it open once.
I played it like for an hour.
And I think the thing for me is what the Switch represents for me is not necessarily portability. Like, I think it'd be great to play it on a plane. And I'm sure I will take it with me when I travel, but to me, like, it's going to be the game that I play in bed. It's going to be I go upstairs at night and put my kid to sleep, and then I go, play Zelda for an hour upstairs when I've kind of already turned off for the day and, play it in bed. And, my kid's using my TV, I can play it on my couch.
That's what I did like about the Wii U even is like if I wanted to play
you took the little thing. Yeah.
When I was a one TV household and we were confined to, a one bedroom apartment, we could both watch TV and play games at the same time, and it was great.
And I mean, that's the reality too is my wife's watching TV, I can play Zelda, The one thing I am disappointed about in the Switch is just the cost of peripherals for it are
I was just looking
exorbitant.
Through that. That's crazy. Although I was looking, and so explain the Joy-Con.
So
explain those.
It comes with one,
right?
And you've got the controllers on both sides, and then that kind of middle bit that holds them together.
It actually creates a traditional controller.
It's really weird. And so in theory, each one of those Joy-Cons detaches from that, and then you have two controllers as long as what you want to do is controllable with the Joy-Con, which presumably is everything.
I'd imagine.
But what worries about me is they're tiny. Like, I mean, it's like a controller for ants. It's like this little teeny thing. So maybe it'll work, but I got real big hands. I'm not sure how that's going to fly. I won't know until I can actually touch one. They do have a traditional, very Xboxy looking controller. I'm sure I will buy one of those
for $80.
For $80. The one I was most disappointed with, though, is the Switch dock. It's the thing you slide it in. Is $90. And originally, I was thinking that had like additional processor in it, and that was the difference between 720p and 1080. But it's not. It just gives extra power, so the Switch can push up to the 1080. So, I mean, really, it's like a dumb piece of plastic that has an HDMI cable and a power switch in it. Or an HDMI cable and a power supply. And yeah, it's convenient that you can slide right into that. Yeah. But it's $90. Like, how convenient would that...
Doesn't that come with...
You get one, but I mean,
you could put one of these on every TV.
How awesome would that be? I got 3 TVs in my house.
Gotcha.
That's not the worst.
It's not. I don't think it's the worst.
It's not, but why doesn't that thing cost $40? Like 90 seems outlandish for a piece of plastic.
It has no processing or
anything. It has no processing.
It's
literally a dumb dock with an HDMI cable and a power cable. Or I guess even maybe more appropriately, why do I need a dock for it at all? It's USB powered and USB can also do video. Why couldn't I just plug it in and USB to maybe you can't go USB-C to HDMI?
You certainly can.
Yeah, and so like it seems like this is kind of a cash grab for a $300 system. Like, we can make a $300 system. But then the other thing that I've been hearing is that the Joy-Cons are chargeable, right? So they're wireless. And they have all sorts of gyroscopes and rumble packs and an IR sensor, so you can do all these cool things with them, which is legit cool. Like, I'm very, very excited about the possibility of things you can do with the Joy-Cons. And so you got to charge them. And if you purchase the middle thing, it charges them. The one it comes with does not. So at least that's what I've heard.
Why?
Right? And so am I going to have to spend another $30 for a charging grip?
Probably.
Yeah, so you can have some octopus attachment that
I guess
throws 8 cords at you, and you can plug everything into it.
And so that's kind of
swings from the ceiling. And
that's kind of the downside of this is that I bought a $300 system, and I'm going to have to spend probably at least another $150 in controllers. And I mean, that's not significantly different, I guess, than an Xbox or a PlayStation, where I bought an Xbox and I had to go buy another $60 controller, and I have 2 or 3 of them.
Maybe they're banking on enough people loving this thing, which I think they're definitely onto something. But to make up for what they lost with that Wii U, they got to make their money
back. And I mean, and I'm legit excited about being able to bring my Wii U here and say, or I'm sorry, my Switch here and say hey guys, let's pull off these silly little Joy-Con things and we can check out, 1-2. So, but I mean, that's the reality is I can bring it here and we can all play
We can
it.
podcast while playing.
Yeah,
Switch.
I mean, whereas it's very difficult for us to come in and say, hey, let's check out this Xbox game or this PlayStation game or even a PC game.
Right.
Like, it's all self-contained.
Not me. I have my laptop with me all the time.
Right.
And a controller.
But you only have one controller. You can bring more.
I'm like, if you've got an Xbox One, you've got the same controller.
Yeah. And so, I mean, that's the reality, though, is it's going to be so easy to just, like, throw that in a backpack and, like, hey, check out, 1-2 Switch or check out, Bomberman, and we can play those games together.
See, I haven't even looked at the game. Is Bomberman one?
I do.
So
love
launch
Bomberman.
titles is 1-2 Switch, which...
Is that is that a pack-in game?
There's no pack-in games.
There's no pack-in games. When I watched the initial video of it, I'm like, this has got to be a pack-in game, right? And then I found out there's actually kind of a lot of depth to it. There's a lot. It's more of a mini game pack, and there's a lot of different ones. Like in the initial thing in the presentation, they're just showing like this weird like gunslinger kind of thing where literally you play as like an Old West, and it's 1, 2, and then you draw. But there's a bunch of different mini games inside of that. So that's going to come out at launch. Just Dance 2017, which I'm super excited about. I've pre-ordered like 8 copies of that because I'm kidding.
I was going to say.
Damn, Adam was like, really? I can't tell if he was disappointed or excited. And then Zelda's
just
coming out.
Oddly confused.
Legend of Zelda's coming out at launch. Skylanders Imaginators, right? Imaginators is coming out, which I've heard is okay. It's supposed to be very like microtransaction heavy, but whatever. And then Super Bomberman R is also going to be a launch title.
Super Bomberman R, is it a pirate-themed Bomberman game?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Check it.
R type. It looks really good though.
They're only going to have, 8 titles?
At launch, 5.
What?
But then coming real soon after that, March, spring, you're going to have ARMS, which is the like springy boxy game, which
looks real cool. But is this a full game?
Well,
I'm
here's
curious.
I don't know. It could be fun, but like to find out, you're gonna have to spend another $80 to get a second set of Joy-Cons because
Right.
That's crazy.
that looks fun. Has Been Heroes also looks really fun. It's like a kind of a roguelike. It looks interesting. You play as. The whole story behind the game is you're 3 like heroes of the kingdom who have kind of gone out to sea because you've saved the kingdom in the past, and so now you're escorting the king's daughters to school through these like 3 lanes. You control 3 heroes, and there's 3 lanes of things you have to get past. It looks interesting, but it's also frankly coming out on the Xbox and the PC and the PlayStation, so we'll see if I want to get it there or somewhere else. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which is just kind of a redo of Mario 8
With
for
some new tracks, new characters.
It's a great game. I'd
Why
rather
not
see
just
Mario
make
Kart
Mario
9, but
yeah.
Is that
that'll be a fun one to like take places though, and
Right.
just be able to like set up your screen and hand everyone a controller.
how big is the screen?
with all your
small.
extra steering
Like
wheel
6.5,
controllers?
7?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how?
It'll be small. I don't know if you can
do a split screen on a
I don't know if you
6-inch
can play
screen.
4-player, but if you buy one, Adam, you can hook up to 8 of them up together.
We can all bring our Switches.
So we can
in.
all play our Switches and all
Like
hook them up
LAN
and
party.
all play like LAN party style.
Well, I never went to a LAN party.
That's-
I don't-
That sounds really fun, actually.
And I could totally get behind that. That'd be a lot of fun. So
Like now, is it like the old school like Game Boy Link where you have to link them together with a cord?
no,
or is
it's
it
all wireless.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it could be kind of fun
could
to be
be
able to play.
If you got enough friends that actually had Switches,
Yeah.
I think that's a great.
And I mean, I think with 2 Switches, you could easily play 4-player. That'd be a lot of fun. Yeah. So I mean that.
The math, but yes.
That's 2
And then
per
you
screen.
Yeah,
Yes, I
2
got-
per screen, and then you'd
Oh.
also have enough Joy-Cons to do it. So I think that could be fun.
So for $1,000 investment,
we could play multiplayer Mario
Kart.
Kart. Or we could just all go to my house and we could play it on my Wii U that I already
that.
own.
Yeah, on a big giant TV.
Exactly. But you have to play with the weird Wii U controller. I don't have a
Steering wheel?
I don't have a steering wheel, but so I have to play it with my old Wii controllers, which
Yeah,
is
that's-
really
yeah.
awkward and strange. But whatever.
But you can put those in their steering wheel.
I don't own the steering wheel though. I should have bought some. You
Yeah,
can
I
buy
got some of
steering
those. Those are-
wheels for the Switch. They're $15 and you get 2.
Do those steer, or do you need to put something in them?
I think you have to put a Joy-Con in them. I'm sure. So anyway,
Sorry.
there's a new Tetris game coming out. My
Well,
wife,
because what the world has been fiending for is a new Tetris,
new Tetris,
game.
Puyo Puyo Tetris. My wife's very excited about that.
Sorry,
I am
Cliff's wife.
Setsuna, which I don't know anything about. Snipper Clips. Sounds real dumb, but I watched them play it on they did a big thing the day after, and Snipper Clips looks so freaking fun.
Just like hearing you say Snipper Clips.
Right?
Because I'm just waiting for you to say something completely not Snipper Clips.
Snipper Clips, cut it out together. You play as these two little characters that are like these little shapes that have little arms and little legs, and when you overlap them and push a button, it actually cuts a part of the one and the behind out, but you need to make different shapes to fill different things. So like one of the best levels I saw him play was there's a basketball up in the corner, and the guy had to sit there. They were both kind of like a square with a rounded part on the bottom. One of them got on the other top and kind of squatted down on him and cut off bits of his head, essentially, to make like a bowl in the top of it. And then they push the basketball out into the head of the other one, which now had a bowl that the basketball could fit in so he could make a basket. And so the entire thing's cooperative, and you're literally just doing it by cutting pieces out of each other. It looks hilarious. I was watching the live stream and literally laughing like really hard along with the people playing the game on a live stream. So I think Snipper Clips could be a lot of fun.
I'm watching a video of it right now, and it's
just goofy and it looks like a fun party game, and I'm very intrigued by that. In summer, they're getting Rhyme, which is that new game that just kind of got re-released. It's about a boy and his fox. Looks a lot like Zelda. It looks really pretty. That could be a fun one. Although, again, that's one I'll probably buy on the PlayStation 4 and be able to play it in 4K and HD. Whatever. Splatoon 2, which I didn't play. Did you guys play the first Splatoon?
Yes.
No, I never played it.
Splatoon was great.
Yeah, it looks so fun.
Oh, that was a fun game.
Yeah.
So good.
And I just never got into it. I didn't realize it was like there's no single player for that, right?
Nope.
Yeah, and so I rarely get real into the multiplayer only kind of things.
Right, but it's I liked it because I think part of the whole online multiplayer thing that kind of throws me is, like you said, I don't like people. So I don't want to necessarily have to interact with these people.
But Splatoon you don't, right?
Splatoon you don't. You just get stuck on a team and you go.
Oh,
and
see,
you
that's
pray
perfect.
that they're good, or you pray that you're not as bad.
So this could be fun then.
Yeah.
And it looks like I watched a bunch of video. It looks really good too. So, and then, towards the end of the year or in the future, there's a bunch of things coming out that look great. FIFA, if you like soccer.
Sure don't.
I love the FIFA games, and I could totally see that being another. Sure don't. I could totally see that as being another where you could take it places and play with people. That could be fun. Minecraft is coming because, of course, it is. What's a system if it doesn't have Minecraft?
Need more of.
Right? Yeah. Rayman Legends is getting a redone onto it, which would be great. Like I love Rayman.
Wow.
Skyrim, which was featured real prominently in a lot of their early advertising, will be coming, and that could be fun. Like I could almost see myself buying Skyrim again just because I want to play it again, but don't want to invest like another 120 hours sitting in front of it. So maybe I could like sneak it in on the like play it in bed route. Sonic Mania, which is it was still mind blowing to me during the Nintendo presentation to see this giant Sega logo at a Nintendo presentation. Like I'm old enough that just seemed weird.
That's when I started seeing Sonic and Tails and stuff on Nintendo games.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is this world coming to?
Right. Yeah. There's a new Xenoblade coming
with
out.
Dogs.
Right. There's a new Xenoblade coming out, and then I think one that people are really excited about is that new Super Mario Odyssey.
Oh, you think people are excited about?
And the sucky thing about Super Mario Odyssey is, from what I've heard, is it's done now. Like they could literally release it now, but they're going to hold it for like a pre kind of Christmas launch just to kind of push, I'm sure, more systems.
I'm okay with it.
Right. Well, I am too, except I want it now.
Splatoon 2, by the way, I'm watching the trailer. Splatoon 2 looks incredible.
Right. There's another one that I'm really excited about, and I told Dylan the name of it earlier, and I'm not going to be able to remember it now because it's like Project Octagon.
Yeah, that really weird. What was that called?
Right. I can't remember what it's called, but it's a new RPG from Square Enix, and it is just beautiful. It's got like this very spritey looking look.
Bravely.
Yeah.
Bravely Default.
Yeah, but then it's got this cool like depth of field effect where
Project Octopath.
Yes, that. What's the full name? Project
Octopath Traveler.
Yeah, it's the dumbest title ever, but it's very Square Enix.
So it's like Bravely Default. Like I do not understand what that means.
Right.
Have you played it?
I have not.
So it's a JRPG, but they give you the option to Brave or Default, which essentially
means it all makes sense
you
now.
take 2 attacks or you choose to defend instead of your normal but it's like you do 2 attacks to skip your next turn, kind of thing.
Oh,
so you have a chance to kill
them,
the snake,
but you also
might
have to take a hit by skipping a turn.
So
that makes sense.
It adds this extra layer to the normal JRPG formula that you've played before.
All right, well, I'll give that.
Okay.
Anyway, check out the trailer for that because it's just the art style of it, the art direction of that looks absolutely beautiful and probably really perfect for that kind of system. This is another one that I'm very excited about playing. I haven't really played.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Yeah. Wow.
And I keep looking at the trailer and just going like, wow, I don't think this has a release date yet, but I'm very excited about that. So, the Nintendo, who knows if it's going to be successful or not. Apparently they've almost blown through all of their pre-orders, which according to Reggie, what's his name, the head of Nintendo of America, is like 2 million units. So
more than their NES Classic.
Yeah, more than God, I hope so. Well, and that was why I pre-bought mine. I'm like, you
don't want to be stuck in the same situation.
Literally, ThinkGeek today sent an email like, "Hey, you still looking for an NES Classic? We're literally doing another random draw to be able to buy them. It's crazy, that you still can't get one. But that's why I wanted to pre-order my Switch, is I didn't want to miss out on that and not be able to play it for a month or two until I got one. So.
Cool.
Nintendo
Switch. I kind of want it.
March 3rd is the day. Like I said, unfortunately, I think that's a Friday, and I'm going to Emerald City Comic Con all 4 of those days.
Well, I will pick it up from the
store.
You can pick it up
for
hold on to it.
That's good of you, Adam. I appreciate that. Yeah. I think it's being shipped to my house, so you can just wait at my house and pick it up. That'll be great. It's a Friday. You'll probably be at work. We'll figure it out.
I'll find a way.
Yeah.
So my one question would be, what's going to make the Nintendo Switch successful?
They've got to get a really good set of first-party games and then get really good third-party support.
Well, I mean, if that's the case, then the Wii U, by that definition, should have done way better because they had some amazing first-party games.
Yeah, but it had no third-party support.
Right.
Like EA, I don't know if they made a game for that system, And I'm not going to say you need to get Call of Duty and all of those on
which
that
they tried
system.
to bring to the Wii.
I don't think
bad.
That's not what.
Yeah, that's not what they need. They don't need,
because those games are better on an Xbox.
Yeah,
or PlayStation.
And so and so that's really the problem they're going to have though is you don't. I don't necessarily want to play I don't want to play Call of Duty really anyway, but. Assuming I did, I don't want to play it on my Switch.
That's why I want the Switch to be successful, because I don't like those games.
Yeah, I don't want to play Assassin's Creed on my Switch necessarily. But what I do want to play, and I think that this is really where they could go, is I'd love to play Inside on my Switch. I'd love to play stupid little RPGs and stupid little JRPGs on my Switch. But what it means is that either they have to really do a better job of getting indie developers making things for them, which they have not traditionally been very good at, or convince AAA developers to do interesting and unique things on that system. So, which is hard because AAA studios don't want to do anything that isn't Assassin's Creed 25 or, Call of Duty Modern Warfare
37.
Infinite 37.
I want Call of Duty Infant Warfare next. I think that's
the game I'd play the crap out of that game.
I will take my army of babies and combat your army of babies.
I don't even know what that means.
That'd be amazing.
You're not really fighting
eyes.
with armies of babies, are you?
It's Call of Duty Infant Warfare.
Oh, infant! I thought you were saying infinite. I'm like,
no, Call of
that exists.
So I guess the other question is it Call of Duty
or is it Call of
Duty?
Call of Duty Infant Warfare?
Infant Warfare.
There's got to be a way we can make this a game.
TM Bite Me Podcast.
Call of Duty.
Yeah, I mean that's what I
Warfare.
think they need to do to be successful, and
that might be our $1 million idea.
Infant Warfare.
That's how I feel. That's what this game has degraded to.
Yeah, is I just don't care anymore, and I want to make something dumb out of it.
It's like,
yeah,
I'd much rather just see a bunch of diaper-clad babies murdering
other babies. That's going to be hard to get an M rating on.
Right.
What's that game or that is it Gary's Mod where you can do all these crazy things? And did you see the one where the Santa Clauses are fighting the penguins?
Yeah.
So we should
So there's a game that my kid plays actually called
Babies versus Doo-Doos.
War Simulator maybe, and it's kind of the same thing.
Maybe that's what it is.
It's something like that. I don't remember what the name of it is.
It's not Gary's
Totally
Mod.
Accurate
it's
Battle Simulator. That's what it's called. And literally where you can stack a bunch of,
I want to say
Santa Claus is a bunch, 1,000 Santa Clauses against, 100 guys with flamethrowers.
Right. Well, I want to say that the system requirement of their suggestion was no more than like 20,000 or 40,000 characters at the same time, because that's when your PC may struggle to keep up with it.
Yeah, he's played it, and it's lots of fun. The interesting, that's actually by the same people that make Cluster Truck, apparently.
It is. That's why why I ran across it.
Yeah. So it's fun. He's played it, and it's very strange, like the things you can pit against one another.
Interesting.
But anyway, I'm excited about the Switch. I think it'll be interesting how it comes out. It's what, 6 weeks now? Yeah. So
I'm surprised I haven't pre-ordered it with me and my bright and shiny.
You should do it, Adam.
Addiction.
Or I guess if you're going to do it soon.
Well, so I've got my PSVR, and I really like it for what it is, but I just haven't been back to it much.
You're going to trade your PSVR for a Switch?
I didn't think of that.
But then he'd have to give up one of his bright and shinies.
That is true.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have all the bright and shinies anymore.
I know. I'm a collector. I'm a hoarder.
Right.
It's fine.
I have heard that World War Tunes on PSVR is very fun. I think it's free.
World War Tunes?
Yeah.
I'll
try
check
it out.
that out. Will do.
And so
but I'm done with spending money on stuff.
Yeah. So buy a Switch and then don't spend anything else.
We'll do that.
See, it was real easy.
Spend a little bit more money and then don't spend more money.
And you're going to wait until summer, fall to kind of see how it goes?
That's kind of what I think.
I'll probably get one when I can.
Yeah.
When I just see one on the shelf. Maybe. Because I know the only game I'm probably would play is Zelda.
Yeah.
And I actually never played through a Zelda game. I've played every one a little bit, I think.
I have not played, so DS games aside, I have not played a Zelda game since A Link to the Past. Mm-hmm. So I've got I should probably go back and catch up on like 5 mainline Zelda stories, but apparently this one's set 100 years in the future from the last one. I didn't realize that, but apparently all Zelda games, at least recently, are not set in the same place. Like you always play as a offspring of Link. So from what I understand, I could be totally wrong. Maybe I'm making shit up too. Who knows? Anyway, talk about some cheap and free games.
That would be good because, like I just said, I don't want to spend any money on stuff right now. I'm good with cheap and free.
So,
like me.
Watch Dogs 2, which I've heard is real good.
I heard is great.
Kind of hacky.
I played the first one, and the first one was all right.
Yeah, and the first one.
Yeah, I always wanted to play Watch Dogs, but I never did.
Yeah,
I guess it didn't quite live up to the hype that surrounded it.
Well, and Watch Dogs, the first Watch Dogs was notorious for having a gorgeous, gorgeous trailer and looking amazing, and then launching and not looking anything like that. And so I think a lot of people got kind of turned off from it. But this one is apparently pretty good. And right now, if you can play 3 hours free on the PS4, and then starting
to start on January 24th.
No, it's happening right now.
Right now,
I think through the 24th, and then starting on the 24th, you'll be able to download it and play it for free for 3 hours on your Xbox.
Got it.
I've actually kind of heard that that's actually a pretty decent amount to play it too. Like 3 to 5 hours. Unless you really want to get whole hog into it, that you could probably get a pretty good sense if you want to do more than that. In 3 hours, and you can have a lot of fun in 3. So, probably not a bad thing to try. I'll probably grab it on the Xbox when it comes out, just because I'm super busy right now.
Now, could this be a successful model for games? Like, for example, the EA Access, where you get to play an hour of this game before it.
Well, and I think that it's actually becoming a thing that studios do, is they launch a game and they get the initial buzz of the people that were excited to get it, and then they do free giveaways later.
Free weekend.
Yeah, free weekend. I mean, how many free weekends have you seen lately? Right. Titanfall had one.
Every time I turn around, it seems like there's
there's some game that I can play for free over the weekend. I think that's, and most of them are multiplayer, which is kind of the interesting thing about this, is where it's not. This is, you can play the single player for 3 games, 3 hours. I didn't want to play Titanfall 2 multiplayer for a weekend and be really terrible at it, but this sounds really fun. So I think it's a really smart, in a world where you don't get demos anymore.
That's something I used to love.
Demos. Yeah, demo CDs were great.
When you used to get official Xbox magazine or whatever, and you got the demo disc.
I got that, and I got PC Gamer, and it was great. You'd try all these things, just download them. It was awesome. But in a world where that doesn't exist anymore, it is, I think, a legit way to kind of reinvigorate people that didn't buy it when it came out.
And I just feel a little trusting of that if companies or game developers willing to let me play their game for a couple hours and see if I actually enjoy it without just blindly handing over some cash and then being disappointed. So
and while you're bringing up EA Access too, that is one thing that if you're excited about Mass Effect Andromeda, they have announced that you will be able to play Mass Effect Andromeda pre-launch if you have EA Access. And they haven't really released how. Usually it's up to 10 hours, I think, which is a lot. I don't know if Andromeda will be the same, but it's definitely something you can try that before you buy it. And I think I'm just going to buy that one because it looks real good.
You're not going to be disappointed with Mass Effect?
No, I'll probably get it off Amazon though, so I can get the 20% off instead of the 10% I get from EA Access. So that looks great. If you are a Games with Gold subscriber, they just switched, so now you can get Killer Instinct Season 2, which I don't know or care about.
Strong fighting game.
Yeah.
It's a good fighting game.
Yeah, I like
fighting games.
Fighting things.
I remember the original.
I actually really
that's the thing is I remember the original Killer Instinct and it was like, oh, that's cool, and have not played it since.
Yeah.
I hear the Xbox one's real good if you like that kind of thing.
I picked it up and it was just trying to learn the system, and to me it seems really fun if I wanted to. I mean, fighting games are a lot of fun when you play with your buddy on the couch. But then you have to have a buddy who's on the same level of you at that fighting game,
that's
or
my
you
problem.
just smash them. And
I loved like Street Fighter 2 in the arcade, and I loved Virtua Fighter 1 and 2 in the arcade, and Darkstalkers in the arcade. But it's just because I knew how to play all those.
And you thought about Darkstalkers and
such a good game. I love Darkstalkers. It was one of those things you could go to the arcade and play with someone else.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with Darkstalkers? It's Street Fighter 2 characters versus other characters.
I don't even. No, it wasn't Street. There was Darkstalkers was all by itself.
Oh, I'm thinking Super Puzzle Fighter 2, which was Street Fighter versus Darkstalkers. Yeah.
Super Puzzle Fight. Yeah, that's where you had the puzzly, Tetris-y kind of.
And it was Street Fighter versus Darkstalkers. Yeah, Darkstalkers was its own thing.
That ties right back to the demo disc on the PS1. It was the demo disc number 2 for the PS1. It had the Puzzle Fighter demo on it, and me and my cousin played it like for hours together
I
on the demo.
loved Puzzle Fighter. It's probably my favorite PlayStation 1 game.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've told the story where I accidentally traded that in with my PlayStation. And it was. Have I told that to you?
No.
Oh yeah. So it was an accident. So there was a deal at GameStop where if you traded in a PS1 and 10 games, you could get like $100, I think, off of, or $150 off of a PS2. And so my PS1 I got for free. I was given Sony gave it to me when I worked at Software Etc. And because I worked at Software Etc., I had a ton of just like dumb games, just like everything that EA released that year. Like I won a contest actually at work. My store did something, and so everyone that worked at my store got like literally every EA game that came out that year, and I didn't care about any of them. And so I traded in a bunch of EA games and like Scrabble and Wheel of Fortune, and so I had 10 games because it was 10 of any games, and got the money off of a PS2. And what I didn't realize, I didn't check inside my PS1, and I left Super Puzzle Fighter inside of it. And so literally I got home, realized what I'd done. I called back to the store and I said, I need it. And the guy's like, oh man, like I opened it up to check it out, and some guy saw it and he bought it for me right there. Because it was really hard to get. Like it was back before digital. That game was out of print, and it cost like $100 to buy it on eBay.
No.
And he sold it. I'm like, that's mine though. You didn't give me anything for it. And it was very much like, sorry, man. Like, I'll talk to my manager and see what I could do. And they ended up giving me like a $60 store credit, and that was what it was. And
did $60 store credit dry your tears?
No. But then when the Xbox came out, they re-released it digitally, so I was able to buy it. And everything was okay. I got Ratchet and Clank, I believe, for my $60 in store credit, so it was all right.
That's a great game.
Yeah, it was a good game. One. Yeah. So, but yeah, no, Puzzle Fighter is. I mean, God, we spent so much time doing it.
Did you ever play it?
It's so fun. It seems like such a dumb party game, but we used to play it at a party game all the time because you just like it's pretty easy to pick up.
Yeah.
And so whoever would lose would pass the controller, and whoever would lose would pass the controller, and it's real fun. You cannot get that for free, unfortunately, but you can get Rayman Origins for free with Game with Gold. It's an Xbox 360 backwards compatible title. It is awesome. Yes. I love that game so much. And then not to let out people on it that have PlayStations. PlayStation 4 has Let It Die. Have you seen that? It's
the
one with the Grim Reaper
now
on the
that
skateboard.
I see that it's a free to play, I'm like, oh, I remember going past that. I'm like, what? Now they're really starting to
kind of push it. It's supposed to be pretty fun. It's got kind of a, it's one of those that's gotten like good ratings. It's, in the mid 70s for everyone that's reviewed it. Apparently the microtransactions are very non-obtrusive. So if you're looking for something free to play on a PlayStation 4, and I don't know, for some reason you don't have PlayStation Plus because they gave away some real good games this month, pick that up.
I'll do it. Check it out. Cool.
So I think that's us for the week.
Yeah.
It was good.
Not bad.
Yeah. So follow us on social.
This will probably be the most up-to-date podcast we put out too, because this is the day before it goes live.
Yep. So you can follow us on social. We have our Twitter following is exploding right now. We're
what are we up to?
144.
What?
Right? I know. It's crazy.
That was like 10 since yesterday.
It's 10 since yesterday. So people love us on the Twitters. So twitter.com/bitemepodcast, facebook.com/bitemepodcast. We have a YouTube channel that I post a lot of stuff to, but I can't give you the URL because it's something dumb like youtube.com/abq47. But if you go to biteme.podcast.
Yeah, when can we get enough?
We have to get 100 subscribers or 50 subscribers, I think. So it's going to be a while.
So
we have 7 now.
Everyone just needs to subscribe. What if I just make a bunch of fake accounts?
You could do that.
Let's do it.
I found my weekend project. That's what I'll be doing.
If everyone else, though, could go to bitemepodcast.com, click on our little YouTube link. You can see the videos I've posted. I'm going to try and do a lot more of those. So there's more content there.
Oh, you know what we could do? All those Facebook like farming pages where, this week we just released 10,000 tickets to Disneyland to like our page for a chance to win. We need to do something like that.
We're just going to have to scam people into liking us.
Scam people into it.
Just so we can get
just because I want to
URL
name it
on YouTube. That's all.
Right, yeah.
That's all.
It's not the worst thing you could think of to do.
And you can't even just give them $5 for that.
No,
seriously.
No, you gotta get 50 subscribers first, and so I don't know. We'll see. It'll
be fun.
There's some good stuff out there. A lot of the games we talk about here, I make videos of. Everything I do 30 minutes of review of, I put a video out. So there's some stuff out there if you want to check out those.
Sweet. And do you link all that to our?
Yeah. I retweet it and I put it on Facebook and I put it on our website. So
sweet.
If you go to our website, it's kind of the hub for most of the stuff we do. But we do put a lot of good Twitter stuff out on Twitter too. So
cool.
Follow us there.
Bite me. Bye.